Hi everyone! Welcome to Math Learning Hub, a hub for everybody who loves math. So I'm Chanya, and today I'll be teaching you how to multiply two numbers that are equidistant from a number whose square you actually know. So this trick works if you have relatively large numbers that you don't want to actually go through the process of multiplying. And instead of doing that, you can use this key idea here, which is basically derived from difference of squares. So I don't know if you've watched my difference of squares video, but if you have, then you might recognize what I wrote here. So that's basically that a squared minus b squared is equal to a plus b times, in parentheses, a minus b. And so what you basically have here, when you have two numbers equidistant from a number whose square you know, let's say, for example, you have a number squared, and that number that's being squared is your a, right? You have your a that's being squared. And then you have your b, which is basically the difference here. So you have your b, which is the difference above or below that squared number. Then you can use this trick. And you can sort of see this in action with our first example, 17 times 23. So one thing you may notice is that 17, right? What's in between of 17 and 23? The number in between those is 20, right? So you can notice that 17 here is basically 20 minus 3, right? And 23 is 20 plus 3. And you're multiplying these two together. So this sort of ties back into our key idea, where you have a number in between and you have a common difference. So that's your a and b in this case. So you've been asked to create that a and b in order to find the difference of squares, right? So of course we know that 20 is our A, 3 is our B. So this is equal to 20 squared minus 3 squared. Well, we know these squares, right? We know these squares. So 20 squared is 400, right? 20 squared, oops. Okay. So 20 squared is 400, right? 20 squared is 400. And if you're getting a little bit confused as to how many zeros there are in 20 squared, you can notice that 20 squared, here, I'll write it to the side here. So 20 squared is equal to 2 times 10 squared. That's equal to 2 squared times 10 squared is equal to 4 times 100, right? So just think of it as a multiple of 10 squared, and you will find the correct number of zeros. So that was a little tangent there, and now we're going to evaluate 3 squared, which of course we know is 9. So 17 times 23 is basically going to be 400 minus 9, which is 391. And I'm going to highlight this answer, 391. So you notice how our key idea here, which is basically difference of squares, we basically just concocted a difference of squares by noticing that these two numbers were equidistant from a square, right? Okay, so now we're going to move on to example number 2, which is 32 times 28. Well, you think, what's in the middle of 32 and 28? Well, that number is just going to be 30. So we can notice that 32 is equal to 30 plus 2, and 28 is equal to 30 minus 2. Oh, wait, what does this look like? This looks like difference of squares, right? So in this case, going back to our key idea here, 30 is going to be our A. Let me put it in red. So 30 is going to be our A, and 2 is going to be our B, right? So this is equal to A squared minus B squared, or in other words, 30 squared minus 2 squared. And let me just add the colors so this is a little bit more clear to you. So this is just going to be 900 minus 4, right? 900 minus 4. And this is basically just going to give you 896. And this should basically be your answer, right? So you've noticed that we have used the difference to create a difference of squares. So now let's move on to our last example, which is 39 times 41. Now, y'all should probably know the drill now. So what's in the middle of 39 and 41? Well, that's just going to be 40, right? So 39, what's 39? 39 is 40 minus 1. 41 is 40 plus 1, right? And then, so going back to this key idea here, you can notice that this is actually 40 squared minus 1 squared, right? This is equal to 1600 minus 1, which is equal to 1599. And this should be your final answer. So I have included some practice problems down in the bottom right. If you all want to go do those on your own time and check your answers in the description. Otherwise, that should be all for this video. So thank you all so much for watching and I will see you in the next one. Bye.